2 Iron Man adventures before they even got to anyone else, except for Hulk.
Yeah, and now, freaking Thor's gonna be the first character to get a 4th film. But is it really
Thor the Thorf?
Or is it as Guardians of the Galaxy?
I think it's mostly a Thor film, though. I would love if it continued to a port where Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was then like. So I picture it this way: this movie, I think they'll only be in the first act or something. I don't even think they'll be a main presence like Hulk or Natasha. But if they are, then he should be the same thing in their movie, where he has as big a role as like Natasha and Winter Soldier or Hulk, where he's not the star, but he's there, man.
Something like that. That could be funny. No, I always just figured we would see the Guardians in. We would either see Thor in Guardians 3 when that was going to come out first.
Yes.
Or we would see Guardians in Thor once we realized that was going to come out first. Because you at least need a flashback drop-off scene from where we saw him at the end of Endgame on the... it's not the Milano anymore. That was the first one. The... What's the second ship
I can't remember him naming a new ship.
No, there was 2. The Milano and something else.
Well, they do have the Milano still. They just fixed it up. That's what Tony Stark was drifting around in, and then Captain Marvel brought it back to Earth.
No, that's a different one. The Benatar. Yeah.
What happened to the Milano then? It was never destroyed, was it?
Milano. I don't.
Oh wait, no, it was destroyed, wasn't? No, Rocket Fix. I don't remember. Guardians 2 maybe, but I thought Rocket Fix. No, you're right. It got. Rocket was trying to fix it. He got captured by Yondu, so the Milano didn't even make it into Infinity War. They were already on the second ship, which they stole from. Well, they didn't steal. They were gonna steal it from Yondu, but then I guess Rocket and stuff took it off with Yondu, and they went to fight the Living Planet. When Yondu turned on the Ravengers.
There you go. Anyways, so that's cool. But to me, I understand that. Yes. Sony could still have a lot of importance with Morbius, but it feels like it doesn't, because like you thought at first. And we might see Venom pushed in the end anyways, but you were like, oh, maybe it's got to come out before Venom or something like that. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think it's got like Iron Man 2 level Easter egg Spider-Man shit. Like Vulture's like a cameo, like what we saw in the trailer, plus maybe another 20 seconds.
I almost guarantee that Vulture's like the post-credit scene. Like, he's not gonna show up in the middle of the movie and be like, "Hey, you hate Spider-Man too, huh?" He's gonna be like,
Well, they wouldn't want to do
be
that.
Like a Nick Fury.
They wouldn't want to do that at the end of that, because that's what they did at the end of Homecoming. Was, I hear you know who the Spider is, with Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. Anywho, we're real far into this. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to LR Mornings today with Kyle and
Nick
Dahl. So you kind of agree with me that you get the feeling, not that we know anything, just kind of get the feeling that yeah, they might be looking for that money. Yeah, it might be to move for COVID, but if it's what movie's going to make more money in theaters if they were all opened, Morbius or Venom, it would almost make sense to go ahead and protect Venom and move it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But it might already be in the safe zone, which
might be.
Sony's thinking that way. Of course, with the rumors that 007 No Time to Die is moving back to its... I call it its November home, even though this movie was always planned for April originally last year, because every Bond movie's been released in November except for that one. So it's almost fate that they should push it again, as long as they don't have to push it a fourth time. But and I guess that's not Sony anymore. Sony does not distribute Bond anymore. That's Universal. So if they do push it back to November, that's Universal calling that they don't think. They'll probably have to push Fast and the Furious again because they don't think the summer's safe, which is looking... Yeah, that's why I've been reading the executives have been paying close attention to the vaccination rollout, and they are making decisions based on how quick that's going, which is why they're thinking of pushing April's No Time to Die when they already pushed Morbius, because they're like, maybe next summer is a dud too. We might be looking at next fall already.
Well, that was one of the things that I brought up is Sony doesn't have its own distribution. Disney told us straight up on Investor Day, we're flexible. We're announcing one premium access movie, Raya and the Dragon. I think it's March or April.
Yeah,
maybe
I believe
May.
It's March.
Somewhere spring.
Yeah, looks good too.
It does. Looks real pretty.
I don't think I'd pay $30 for it, but if it was Soul, I would definitely watch it.
They didn't say the price.
Either. Yeah, but I wouldn't pay I don't think I'd pay anything to see that movie. That would be when it's free on Disney Plus type movie for me.
I might pay $15 to see that.
I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just with all these free movies these days, it's like once it'll be free on Disney Plus by the fall, and I'll watch it in the fall because it does look good. But
I really want to know how much I'm gonna have to pay for
Black Widow,
Shang-Chi, and Eternals, because I think Jammer's lost his damn mind if he thinks that the MCU is gonna push back again further for theater money.
It'll fuck up the TV stuff eventually, as I assume. Why you think he's mad, because eventually that shit, all of it's supposed to tie in.
Yeah, I mean, you might get away with being able to get Falcon, Winter Soldier, and WandaVision out, but after that, if you don't start getting the movies, then you're going to start running into issues, I feel.
And I want to bring us back to a conversation we had on our Marvel show, which came out yesterday. And we recorded that Friday before. Kevin Feige said tons of stuff yesterday, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
I was on Twitter. I'm like, who interviewed him? There's exclusives from every single website.
It was a Collider, I think.
Okay.
Was one of the big ones.
A lot of information came out yesterday, including there won't be an Avengers movie in Phase 4. Because what we were kind of talking about, what I was at least talking about that I've seen, is that it seems like there will be multiple arcs now running through the MCU. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the characters will come together and stuff, but for now, one arc could be WandaVision, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. There's an arc where it's not everyone, but it's okay, we're bringing in Scarlet Witch and Spider-Man, and maybe multiple Spider-Mans and Doctor Strange. Yeah, and I think they should
team up comics.
In fact,
before the mega team crossover events.
I think there should. I mean, we've seen, like we've discussed, we've seen Thor Ragnarok, Winter Soldier, and these upcoming movies, or even the Spider-Man movies, where it's not a full Spider-Man and Iron Man movie. It's just Iron Man showing up for 20 minutes. I would love to see a team up movie that has two people in the title, it's Hulk and Wolverine, the movie or something, because that was the first comic that Wolverine appeared in, was a Hulk comic, just something you can name both the characters, and even as a joke, call it team up or something, two of the characters you'd love to see together, or it's the TV show Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or WandaVision. I guess they're doing it in TV, where it's it's a 2-character team up, not a whole, because they're saying then the Black Widow will probably go with Winter Soldier and maybe Hawkeye, the more grounded type ones that involve secret agents and super soldiers and shit will all be one storyline. And then Armor Wars and Ironheart and all that will be its kind of own storyline.
Yeah. Speaking of Secret Invasion, I actually kind of had some of my
Your fear is alleviated.
Yeah.
By his quotes.
Yeah. Feige says, responding to comicbook.com asking about Secret Invasion, he says, well, there were more characters in the Secret Invasion comic series than there were in Endgame. So no, in relations to, are we going to see it like, oh, Captain America's a Skrull and Tony Stark was a Skrull and all that. So no, Feige admits it's not that, but that it is very much, but it very much is a showcase for Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, and tapping into the paranoia elements of the Secret Invasion comic series that was great with the twists and turns that took. Oh my God. Can you guys start talking for people with brain damage? No, I'm joking. I am we are small group. Don't change the world for us. So that's certainly our focus more than can we cram in more characters than in game like publishing. Oh my God, thank you so much, Kevin Feige, for telling me that we're not going to try to do the normal Secret Invasion. What I think this is going to be almost like a spiritual successor to Winter Soldier, and that spy game type thing.
I just want a buddy cop movie with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as I forgot the name of his
Talos.
Those two together are some. I mean, Ben Mendelsohn's not a funny guy often, but those two together.
I
he's like
him
sipping on
Talos.
the soda,
yeah.
Like the reference, and he's like,
yes.
"What is that? That's like, what is that thing?" I'm like, it's just a cat. He's like, I don't like that thing.
And I would love to see, honestly, Coulson be a part of it as well, and bring him back into the proper MCU.
They did not. I mean, I agree, because I thought it was really cool to see him in the 90s. Obviously, like that's the easy spot to throw him back in. Otherwise, if you just follow the movies, or even just MCU and Netflix, you have no idea Coulson is alive if you never heard of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or never watched it.
Yeah.
There's no hint. It's because they're still... I watched most of that series during quarantine. I haven't finished it. I kind of got tired of it and turned it off. It's kind of like my filler show between my other weird superhero show, which I love, Legends of Tomorrow, because it's so wacky and has like a dozen characters.
Yeah.
It's the DC version. They travel through time,
yeah.
which I think they do in the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They do reference the movies quite a bit, considering the movies never reference it.
Yeah,
like when Hydra goes down, that's a pretty exciting episode. I mean, when Hydra takes over S.H.I.E.L.D., it's a pretty exciting TV episode.
Yeah, multiverse explains it. We all know that. What is it on? Okay, so on string. If you go with the 10-string theory, and I know there's other string theories. There's M theory. There's even. The parallel universes, fuck all the real theory shit.
Comic shit.
Comic shit. It could literally be a parallel universe where just one event is different and everything else was the same.
Have you watched all of it?
What's that?
Have you watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
Neither have I, but everything I've seen... You could explain that, this definitely happened. It's just the Avengers weren't worried about the Inhumans because S.H.I.E.L.D., not S.H.I.E.L.D., but, new S.H.I.E.L.D. under Coulson was worrying about shit like that.
But you could also do the multiverse thing if you needed to. So
Netflix is almost more of a multiverse.
Like Netflix.
Where you could bring in, oh, look, it's, I like the rumor, it makes sense, and I don't even think you need to do it as a multiverse. You can even treat it like it is this character's first turn, but we don't need to learn their origin. Yeah, someone was rumored that Jessica Jones would be in She-Hulk, which is perfect, because She-Hulk's a law... Hell, Matt Murdock could be in She-Hulk. It's a law comedy. Courtroom comedy, and Jessica Jones is an investigator, and Matt Murdock is a fucking lawyer. So why not,
Well, there was that rumor Murdock was going to be in...
Spider-Man
Spidey 3 which Kevin Feige.
I like Kevin Feige's response where he's like,
most
"You guys are so close on some of it, and you're so off on other things."
Yeah. Also about what they call it Homecoming 3, which a lot of trades called it Homecoming 2, who, before we knew it, was Far From Home.
Yeah.
And Homecoming 3 just didn't stick. People just all of a sudden started calling it Spider-Man 3, I guess.
I think it's because it's only the second Spider-Man 3 and not the 3rd Spider-Man 3. We've had 2 Spider-Man 2s.
Yeah.
One with amazing, and the title is actually ironically the least amazing.
Yeah, God. So there's that. It's a good time to be a Disney Plus subscriber with Marvel and Star Wars stuff coming out, and
God, the Star Wars stuff is so far away. Like now they're Marvel, where it's like we have all these plans, but you're not gonna see another new show for like a year.
Well, they got the Bad Batches this year.
Yeah, but I don't count the animated stuff.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't watch the animated stuff either. I believe we're probably going to get a surprise sometime this year, Star Wars related. Nothing big, but something surprising, placeholder type stuff. Not as bad as that Marvel Legends stuff, but something. That's just a feeling. There's no lead. There's no leak. No source. That's just me. But yeah, you're right. It is going to be like a Star Wars drought, like it was a Marvel drought,
or even like it was a Star Wars drought since Rise. If you take out Rise of Skywalker, even if you don't, it's like almost a full year until we got new and that's normal for Star Wars.
Because we had a couple episodes of Mando after Rise of Skywalker.
One after, I think.
There's a couple. I don't know, maybe.
Because the second to last one was the one that the healing was done in, and they released that the Wednesday before because they knew there'd be healing in the movie.
And people that took offense to Jedi healing is something that existed in the EU. I had issues with how they were like, how it's used, because
should be used more often. Like, why didn't he heal Qui-Gon Jinn? I guess he wouldn't have known it. But
all sorts of things like that. But like the giant wound that Rey heals on the snake, you would think would take more energy and more life force to heal than the small burn wound through some organs through Ben in at the Death Star 2 wreckage. I'm down with force healing, but they didn't set any rules for it, and they didn't play by any rule. So I didn't like it.
They played it so late in Star Wars. I mean, you don't reveal it all at once, and every time you play a video game, you're like, oh shit, the Force could do that.
Us EU guys have known for forever what the Force is capable of.
Half the video games I'm referencing were EU video games that aren't canon anymore, like Force Unleashed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you can fuck with someone that much with the Force, and then
yes, you can.
And I think that part's definitely canon still, because then you watch Rogue One and Vader's just tossing. No, I mean I'm just the idea that you can fuck with someone that much. Yeah. Vader's just tossing them around like rag dolls.
It was used. I don't know the first time it was used in print. I know the first time I read about it, I believe, was the Yuzon Vong War, the new Jedi Order books, and it's something called battle melding or battle trance. Basically, one Jedi can influence a sphere of fighters and make them more efficient, faster, increase their will, boost them up, right? A team of Jedi can increase that field even further, and of course a really powerful Jedi can go pretty far on their own, but there's something even more different, and that's when Jedi combine themselves together to fight in a single unit. Yeah, you see me on the camera.
I see you doing the Tenet. I always think of Tenet when they say this now.
Oh,
I come at you with a word and the hand signal, whatever. Tenet.
I haven't seen Tenet yet, so don't ruin
it's
anything.
Good. I watched it a second time last night with my friends. It's great.
I do need to see it. It's there on the list. There's a lot of things on the list, but I'm watching a lot of stuff for all of you, the listeners.
He doesn't want to be watching these things that he loves.
Anime. I'm going to be watching WandaVision. I'm watching Cobra Kai.
He's been complaining about WandaVision forever. He's like, I do not want to watch that show, Nick. It's been a year. I'm still fatigued. No,
my Marvel fatigue. my Marvel fatigue. It is 2021, the year of Marvel. I like what Feige said.
Six series and 4 movies?
I brought this up with Manny yesterday's show. I said, when Feige was asked about Black Widow going to
Disney Plus
as premiere access type deal, he said, "Don't ask me. That's above my pay grade." But one of the funniest things to me is Feige doesn't outright lie.
He doesn't J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, he doesn't
Khan is
outright
not in this
lie.
movie.
He'll say, "I can't say," or "That'll ruin it," or maybe not. He always does that, and usually when he gives you a definitive answer, like his definitive answer on, "Are you going to do any more Star Wars things after the film you're producing?" He said, "No, absolutely not."
Well,
not
he might
like
do more after. They just ask him if he's in charge of more than just that. He's like, "No, I'm not even in charge of the Taika Waititi one. This is my Star Wars project. We'll see, maybe, but this is my Star Wars project."
Yeah, his one thing, and no, he's not involved in anything else, and that's cool. So when he said that's above my pay grade, to me that said, I've voiced my concerns. My boss knows my concerns if he has any, and my boss will tell me what to do, and I'll execute accordingly. That's what that said.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that money. I mean, maybe this is obvious. Disney cares more about the money than Kevin Feige and the Marvel Corporation. As far as they're like, we give Disney all their hits. Having one of our movies not cross $1 billion because of a pandemic is okay. We have 3 more this year, including a Spider-Man movie that could be maybe our worst decision yet, but like our biggest movie since Endgame, as far as like participation of characters. If it's true, we're getting all the old Spider-Man and villains back.
It really could. So you don't think his comments had anything to do with a?
It could, but I don't think it is his decision in the end.
No, I know it's not. That's what I'm saying, is the fact that he was so quickly, because usually businesses, when there's decisions in times of turmoil, there's a line for everyone, right? No matter who you're talking to,
they'll all say the same thing. Company line.
This is your thing, right? And I would have figured there would have been it would have been even a similar response to the what I think it was Bob Iger, or maybe it was the other Bob, that said on Investors Day,
whichever Bob,
that Disney is going to be flexible, and that they're willing to put things on Disney Plus on a case by case basis. To me, if he had to me it just means that he's already accepted it and said that's above my pay grade, which to me means he's kind of like you, like, let's get this shit going so we can get stuff later. Like Disney, you're gonna make money off of the merchandising alone. Let's get this stuff going, And I don't know. I like Feige. I like him.
I love him. Let's sell those Red Guardian action figures. I would totally buy a Red Guardian pop. That would be so cool. That's David Harbour's character, right? Isn't that what the Russian Captain America is called?
So you know my cousin does the custom pops.
I saw that picture too on your Twitter. It's so cool.
I got my Leslie Vernon from Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon, which is single-handedly the greatest slasher flick ever made, hands down. So yeah, I was pretty happy to get that.
And this is great for our audio listeners. But I also noticed in that picture right next to it, is that a Mighty Mug? Is that what that's called? The Boba Fett you have?
Yes, I have indeed.
I have a single Mighty Mug I bought used, and it says Arch Enemy. I have a Han Solo Mighty Mug.
I've got one other. I got a.
We're soulmates.
I got an 09 Comic-Con Optimus Prime exclusive. And those are my only two Mighty Mugs.
I just have the one. I went to my comic book shop. It's no longer open, but they still have there. I'm actually going to apply for a job. They're hiring, and they have the big warehouse. It's like a Sam's Club size comic book shop with basically so the pop section alone is bigger than most stores, like a GameStop or something. But then they have a Stan Lee action figure with like this 2 feet tall with all these articulation points, signed by Stan Lee, going for a couple $1,000s, and real shield replica, not just statues, but actual replicas. Here comes the Power Ranger sword. They'd sell stuff like that too. Nice.
It lights up and shit. We might get demonetized. I don't know. Hold on.
No.
I think those ones would be fine, but whoops.
I don't think they'll know.
You can actually twist it and play fucking individual notes with it. Isn't that badass?
That's it.
And it lights up, and then, like I said, then there's that last. There you go. So
anyway, I got the Mighty Mug of Solo at my old comic book shop before it closed, and they also had a Thanos action figure from the 90s opened that I bought because it was 2012, and it's and he's painted purple and orange. All of his armor is just painted orange, and he's purple because it is the 90s comics design of Thanos. And you're okay. I was this guy's gonna be big. I'm gonna buy this $5 used action figure in the back room where they keep the stuff that's not even expensive enough to sell because the comic owner can never see back there. They're not expensive enough to steal. Yeah,
I can't stand shops that messy. The shop I go to is that messy, and they're nice, which is why I go there, and they got a lot of stuff. But they're ones that do trades and conventions and set up booths at smaller regional places. And
you should look up the Kevin Smith video. There's Kevin Smith shot a video when he was at the warehouse for Mile High Comics. It used to just be only open on Saturdays, but now that it's the only location, it's open daily. They have life-size statues. Even they have a Funko Pop of Spider-Man that's 10 feet tall. They have statues of Carnage and all this stuff. And then they have all the expensive stuff. And they have a stage where they do drag queen shows for kids. They're this is an eccentric, cool place. And they have I'm thinking about selling them some of my banners if they buy banners. I have an Amazing Spider-Man 2 30-foot tall banner that maybe they'd want to buy. And I have an Avengers banner it's too big to put up because they have some banners and posters up for Man of Steel, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it looks kind of, hodgepodge together because it is such a big building, but it's a well organized, Costco-sized comic shop.
Nice.
So watch Kevin Smith geek out about it. If you search Kevin Smith and Mile High Comics, I think on YouTube, you can watch him freak the fuck out. He's oh my god, this place is so big.
That was my reaction to the exhibit hall floor at San Diego the first time. It was oh my god, because my wife was with me and my best friend Brian was with us. He flew out in '08 to go with us. So other than my parents and my sister. It's like literally everything I've ever loved in my life is in one room right now.
Yeah,
from comics to sci-fi, fantasy stuff. What fantasy stuff I do like, movies, horror, art, newspaper style comic strip, like all that shit. My wife, and not like I had to drag her around. You guys hear Christine? She's on all these podcasts with us. She doesn't. She's not to the point of expert analysis and break that down for like an episode of the Cantina, but she's a legit fan. And God, I really hope at least New York Comic-Con can happen.
Mine's already canceled.
What was that?
Denver Pop Culture Con was already canceled. Like
they already canceled that one?
Back in November, they canceled it because it was supposed to be May.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be a field hospital, the convention center, in May, in case they need overflow. They haven't needed to use it yet, but it's built to be a field hospital.
I know San Diego said regardless of whether or not they're going to have an in-person one this year, that no new tickets would be sold. And I think I heard that if population has to be controlled, it'll be like a lottery system, and if you don't get in this year, then your ticket will be good for next year, some shit like that.
Interesting.
It's weird, and that could be off and could have changed since I heard it last year, I guess. Now that 2020, actually it's what, December 42nd 2020, right? Shout out to Felicia Killings for giving me that joke on Twitter. She's awesome. Yeah, man. I got a feeling that other than our non-Marvel specific, so our Star Wars specific, our anime specific, our whatever, we're gonna be talking a lot about Marvel in the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Like the old days.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've had a lot of Marvel to talk about.
Kinda of, and there's gonna be some DC shit, a lot more DC stuff than normal to talk about.
Like I think today we're not gonna cover this because I don't even know the names. I think today they got a showrunner for Gotham, PD or whatever they're calling the prequel.
The tie-in with the Batman.
The same universe, the Earth 2, like the Batman.
Yeah.
I just hope the whole point of that would be to get Jeffrey Wright to play the Commissioner Gordon in the prequel series too. Otherwise, it's just gonna be Gotham again.
Yeah.
Like
I gotta hold on, let me see. I might have lost it and I might not be able to get it back.
So I even think it'd be cool to do, like, let's say it's Batman Year One, only it's from Commissioner Gordon's point of view. We barely see Batman. We never see Robert Pattinson, and we barely see Batman. But it's him like rushing to places that Batman's been, or
I don't know. I think people find that type of thing annoying. We're at the point today where
that's why I wanted From Gotham originally. Yeah, that was years ago.
Where we have the Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds just did their big promo for Netflix and all these movies, these 20 some odd movies coming out. They announced in 2021 for Netflix, and the point I'm trying to get at is that A-listers are now getting on to streaming. And so if you have a streaming show, it's no longer the same as having Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC and trying to get Sam Jackson on that. If you don't
Sam Jackson gets his own series in Secret Invasion.
Exactly. If you don't put Robert Pattinson in the series where he's supposed to still exist in some capacity other than, oops, they just missed the bat. Like, no, we're past that, dude. People won't accept
I'm just
that
saying.
anymore.
Well, originally they're still calling it a prequel series, and that's even before Batman.
Okay.
But it'd be cool if it was like Batman Year One. And you could have Gordon be suspicious and go interview Robert Pattinson for an episode. But you wouldn't need him you need even less than Nick Fury in a Nick Fury show.
That makes sense.
Like, then. It wouldn't be like John Cena Peacemaker or whatever, where it's him in every episode. And it's John Cena. But you get Robert Pattinson for like maybe 30 minutes the entire season. And otherwise, and you can have the Bat, and half the time he could be on a rooftop talking.
Yeah.
And Gordon would obviously visit him once, like in Year One, and be like, "Yeah, where have you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I was off skiing in Colorado," which is always the excuse.
So yeah, it's gonna be a superhero year again. After the year of very little
after the year of
superheroes,
Birds of Prey. And Wonder Woman digitally
Sonic
for free.
the Hedgehog, who was my favorite superhero film of last year, and yes,
Bloodshot.
he is a superhero. I won't watch that.
Neither will I. I'm just saying, I think those are all the superhero movies that came out last year, and We Can Be Heroes, which I won't watch.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys go by LRMonline.com every day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Please check out our YouTube channel. Lots of great content, all the interviews that you're used to, plus podcasts and back catalog, including we are re-releasing the Katina reviews of the entire 11 live action Star Wars film collection. So yeah, another one goes up today. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which featured Brian Brantley. And you can find all that on the YouTube, as well as our podcast network. Guys, we got like 10, 11 podcasts going on. So much stuff from Marvel to Cobra Kai, Dr. Stone, LRMornings. Nick has got some stuff he's going to talk about now.
Yeah. Obviously, I've been doing Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. In March, it'll be our 2-year anniversary, because we started with Captain Marvel back when Marvel movies were plentiful. Mm-hmm. Tying in with that, me and Kyle here, you can check out the first episode of Marvel Multiverse Mondays. I was listening to the recording, and I caught at the end where you're like, I said madness, and you were like, Mondays. Nick, Mondays. Because I always catch stuff I didn't catch when I'm editing, that I didn't catch when we were talking. But yeah, that is already out, the first episode. We talk about our own Marvel history and what we're looking forward to, and kind of a little recap so you know what's going on, in case you didn't watch those stupid Legends TV series. And yeah, we'll be doing that every Friday, because there's basically new Marvel content every Friday. And if they're not new Marvel content that Friday, we'll revisit a Spider-Man film or something as we slowly march towards Spider-Man 3, 2, or Homecoming 3, whatever you want to call it. And I'm at Geeky Nick Tall on Twitter.
There you go. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram now at that one, the number one, at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.